Snob, this is Tara. Today I'm going to be working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 13. The designer for today's sketch is Erin Dallas. I will have any of her social media below listed so that you can leave her some love. This is a great 2-page sketch. Quite happy to have a 2-page sketch to work on today because I do have quite a few 2-page layouts that need to get finished. And sometimes you need those to tell your stories. Actually, I need more 2-page layouts. So this is going to be a layout about our family Thanksgiving. We are a military family and we don't often get home to enjoy your traditional big group of family holidays. Very often we just hang out at home and do family things. Sometimes we will hang out with friends. But this particular year we had just moved. I don't even know if we had found our church yet, and if we had, it was a new church. We didn't know anybody yet. We hadn't joined a small group or anything like that. We didn't really know anybody. So this layout is going to talk about how I try to make Thanksgiving special for my kids, even though they don't get the big room full of cousins and aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas. It is usually just us. So I pulled Farmstead Harvest, which is a collection that I purchased at We Create back in September. I hadn't seen it before. It is an absolutely stunning collection, and it really matches my photos quite well. So I pulled several sheets of paper. I know that I'm going to use these 2 pieces for my background. And then I've got some cut aparts for tags, for journaling, labels for journaling, some word bits. We'll see how I end up using those. And then I've pulled in 3 other pieces of paper to kind of mess around with, as well as some scraps of cardstock and a few of the embellishments from this kit or collection. Ended up with 2 of these somehow. That's okay because I also have a lot of paper. I have the Thickers phrases. I also have the Thickers AR, a wood grain puffy sticker. They're really great. I have those and 2 sets of different ephemera. So I'm going to go ahead and make some decisions on what papers are going to end up where. I'm going to make those cuts, and I'm going to come back on and we're going to start building this layout. I'll be right back. So the very first thing that I did is I taped my background papers to my glass mat so that they wouldn't move while I was building this layout. I will often do this when I'm building a 2-page layout that has continuous lines that need to meet on either side. That way I get them level. So that's why it's taped down. So I also pre-cut all of my strips of paper. I cut 2 wider borders that are going to go vertically on each side of the layout, and then I cut 4 borders, 1 for the bottom and 2 for the top, 2 for the bottom, 2 for the top. They are the same piece of paper. I just flipped it over. The houses are going to go on the bottom, and the stripe that was on the opposite side are going to go on the top. Now, I'm not measuring with these strips. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and get it straight and where I kind of want it to end up. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add those vertical strips. Now in the original sketch, the vertical strip was on each left-hand side of the layout, and I am choosing to pull the one for the right-hand page is going to be on the right-hand side of the layout, and the left one is going to be, of course, on the left-hand side of the layout like it is in the original sketch. And I'm doing this because I want you to kind of see those borders and the way that the pictures end up lying on my layout. If I had moved that strip to the left-hand side of the second page, you wouldn't see that strip, and it would be almost pointless to even cut it out and put it there. So as it is, it's still covered up partially by photos. So I just wanted to make sure that you could see both strips. Otherwise, I might have just left it out entirely. I am double matting the photos that are going to go on the left-hand side. I do not have an 8x10 photo printed right now to use to scrapbook. I am trying to scrapbook photos that I've already got printed this month, if at all possible, especially for a 2-page layout. I have tons of layouts or photos ready for a 2-page layout, so I wanted to make sure that I used photos that were already printed. As I already mentioned, these are Thanksgiving Day photos, and this is just me and my husband and children. We had just moved to the area and we didn't really know anybody just yet, but I always want to make sure that my kids have fond memories of a great Thanksgiving meal, just like the one that I had growing up, because I grew up in a large family and we had cousins and aunts and uncles and the whole family drama going on. But those are some of my best memories, and I want my kids to have memories of having a big meal, and we can talk about what we're thankful for Thanksgiving. And you know, we were very thankful that we had moved safely and that we had found a place that we could rent that held everybody. That has always been an issue with my family because we homeschool and I scrapbook, so our needs are a little different than other families. Even more so when we had 7 of us in the family, because if you followed me for long, you know that I actually have 5 children and I homeschooled all 5 at one time. The oldest 2 boys actually graduated from a public school, but the youngest 3 have been homeschooled from preschool to completion. Anyway, so we just had different space needs than other families, and we had to make sure that we had room for a homeschool and room for everything else that goes along with life in a large family. So I am matting the photos the best that I can here. Oops, I just hit my camera. But I am matting the photos with some of the scraps, and I'm just kind of trying to make it work. One of the things that I end up doing is I end up having to piece the background for the photo of the food. I end up matting it as well, but it's not, I didn't have enough to make 2 mats, and I'm using the same piece of paper for all of the mats. It's all the same sheet, and so I end up using a piece of washi to connect a piece of the pattern paper for that larger photo. Now I'm going to pull out, I had fussy cut some of the tags from the cut apart sheet in this collection, and I cut out 3 of these little long label style tags that and at first I was like, oh, I'll put them on here like this, but then it covered up too much stuff, so I pulled out one of them and I only put 2, but in the end I am going to end up with all 3 because I'm going to fussy cut them out of the pattern that's behind the labels. I didn't really care for that look. It was too two-dimensional for my liking. So now I'm going to kind of just look for some bits and pieces. I know what I want on here, but I'm also trying to follow the sketch and make things work. And so I look at these puffy phrase stickers and kind of dig through those, and then I'm going to dig through the actual sticker sheets. I'm going to kind of just familiarize myself with what's in this collection. Like I said, this is new to my stash. And so off camera, I went through all of the ephemera packs and pulled out stuff for a title and for embellishments. I didn't want to make you sit there and watch me dig through all of those bits and pieces of ephemera to find out what I was going to end up using on the layout. So on this lower left hand corner of the first page where the title block is, she had a date there, and I decided to put an embellishment cluster there. I've got 2 leaf clusters and a house and the word home that's going to end up on there. And right now I'm tucking a couple of extra little pieces of leaves back there, gluing as I go along. I did pop that house up on Fun Foam, and yes, it's crooked right now, but the glue's not dry, so it'll be easily moved back into place. Next up, I'm going to add the word home, and it's going to kind of dangle off the side of that house, and I will have to end up put a piece of Fun Foam underneath it because it doesn't stay level. I am being very careful with these vellum title words because I don't want the glue to show on the front side, so I'm making sure I'm only putting the glue on that gold piece so that you don't see it. But that's going to be my title for this layout, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to pop up this cluster of leaves with Fun Foam, and I'm going to glue it up in the top right hand corner of the second page, and that is going to be basically my embellishment cluster for that. I have that large leaf down there. It's lying across my journaling strips that I have already completely fussy cut out to use, and I'm going to glue it under that bottom photo, but I'm going to pop up the top of it with Fun Foam adhesive, with Fun Foam, so that it has a little bit of dimension on underneath it, and then I'll just glue everything down like that. So I'm also going to go ahead and add some other little bits and pieces from that foam phrase set. There are some really pretty leaves and flower bits, and I'm going to just pull off a few. Like there's going to be a flower down here in that lower right hand corner, and I think I add a couple of leaves as well, just to make a small embellishment cluster. I don't want too much. I don't want to detract from my photos, but I also don't want a lot of bare spots either. So I'm just going to add a few things. What I really wish this collection had in hand were some hearts on here. That would have been great. There's not, but I do like that little wreath that says that fall feeling. That looks really good up there in that upper right hand, or upper right hand corner of that photo. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut some twine, and I'm going to add 2 bows to 2 of my labels down there for the journaling. And then I'm going to add some Nuvo drops. Now, it takes me a little minute to get these little bows tied in the way that I want them to go on there, and I'm going to use glue dots to get them onto the page. That is my adhesive of choice for string and stuff. I love my glue dots for that. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove the washi that I used to tack my layout together. You have to be really careful with washi because it will tear the background. Normally I would put it on my clothes before putting it onto the background paper. I didn't this time, so I was just trying to be extra careful with it so it wouldn't tear my paper. There you see me adding that little piece of Fun Foam behind the word home so that it stayed level. And now I've brought out my golden mustard Nuvo drops, and I'm going to add some little Nuvo drop accents in various places on the layout. I love Nuvo drops. I need to use them more. I have several colors, but I don't always reach for them. That's a shame because they are actually handy. I just don't always grab for them. But they do make an awesome finishing touch on a layout. They add just a little bit of shine and pop of color. Alright, I am finished with this layout. I did not put the journaling on yet because I already put the Nuvo drops on and they are currently wet and I don't want to risk smearing them. I am left-handed, so I do smear when I write, and it's just a lot easier to wait until they dry. So stay tuned at the end of the video for the close-up shots. I'll give you a shot of the completed journaling, and that way you can see it completely finished. I did most everything on camera today. I didn't really do much off camera other than choose the embellishments from the embellishment packs that I decided to go with. I did add more photos to this than the sketch called for. She had an 8x10 photo. I do not have any of those to scrapbook right now. And I added a photo here, and I added a photo here. Otherwise, this bit here was already photos. And of course, I kind of moved around the journaling spots. She had a journaling spot here, and then a journaling spot where this is at, and I just chose to put my journaling right here. So I want to thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. You all make my day when you leave comments on my videos, and I will respond. So if you have any questions, just drop them below and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Make sure that you check out that playlist that is listed below for this series, 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 13. Everybody's getting their beautiful work into those playlists, and you'll be amazed at all of the beautiful creations that you will see. I am seeing so many gorgeous layouts with this series, and you will as well. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.